Wow. Welcome to Cohn and Krueger. I'm Grant Cohn. That's Larry Krueger. The 49ers just did something that I think most of you would have called insane a few days ago, but they just did it. They restructured Jimmy Garoppolo's contract. He's going to be here another year. We're going to look at this from everyone, like a bunch of different angles. Let's start at it from Jimmy's angle. What does this mean for Jimmy Garoppolo? Just when he thought he was out, they pulled him back in.
Well, it means that he's going to make about $18 million less as far as guaranteed money. It also means that if he makes the incentives, I mean, he's got incentives up to $16 million in incentives. So maybe he feels like he's only taking, maybe he's going to get, does this mean it opens up the job for him? Do they open up a competition? Does it mean that he's just here in case Trey, falls apart or fails or the team struggles? That part is kind of yet to be clarified. Is it open competition on the job? Doesn't sound like it. It sounds like he's here as the clear number two, and we'll see where it goes. And they left themselves open options with the way they structured this, where if he wins the job, he's going to make as much as $16 million. If he doesn't win the job, he could stay for $6 million. They could also trade him, and he would have a seat at the table in deciding where he wants to be traded.
Sure. Is he even the number 2 quarterback on the team right now? I mean, he hasn't been there. What I will say, though, I think is the way the Niners handled this by holding on to him so long. I think they made it so it was impossible for him to be a starting quarterback. I think they structured it where by the end of training camp, they went to him and they were like, look, you could be a backup for us or you could be a backup somewhere else. What do you want to do? I think they felt that they could make a more competitive offer and that he'd be more comfortable here. If Trey falters, which he might, or gets hurt, boom, you're right back in. You're right back in the saddle on a team that you know and an offense that you know. If he goes to Seattle, even if he starts, does that help his stock? They suck. At least they look like they suck to me. So I'm not sure. It seems like this might be in his interest too.
Yeah, no, I think you're hitting on something. The other thing you got to remember, what if you're Don Yee, if you're Jimmy G, what do you really want to achieve this year? Would you like to start? Sure. But as you said, the starting jobs are all filled up. Right. So what you really need is you need to make sure that you're healthy and in one piece and ready to make 20 million again next year when the free agent window opens up again. So do you want to take hits on a bad team like Seattle or the New York Giants or one of these teams and maybe wind up getting hurt and missing out on that big free agent payday? Or if you stay here, you maybe compete for a Super Bowl, you maybe win a Super Bowl, you maybe play some role, and you're more likely to be healthy for your big free agent payday. He's not getting the big free agent payday if he's not healthy next year when the free agent window opens.
Also, from his perspective, this might be the best situation for him because he just saw Trey Lance in practice. From his perspective, he's thinking, there's a lot of pressure on this kid. He has to win. There's no growing pains because I won to a degree. He has to win. He has to prove that he's better than me. He has to stay healthy. I mean, the pass protection is terrible. They're running the triple option. I just might get a chance to play again this year. And if I do, I know George Kittle. I know Deebo Samuel. Maybe from his perspective, this is the best opportunity for him. And again, I don't know what other teams might have been offering him if they were talking, but if he gets to play, there's all these incentives. He could make a lot of money on the Niners this year.
Well, and he doesn't have to wonder also, Grant, about what kind of person Trey Lance is. Right. Last year, Trey Lance sat and watched him the whole year, despite being the top 5 pick. Now it might be a situation where Jimmy has to sit and watch, but he's probably already decided that Trey is, at least personality-wise, a quarterback that he can live with in any role, whether he's on top or Trey's the starter or he's the starter. I think he feels like he can work with Trey and that he likes Trey. I think that makes it easier. I really do.
Also, if he goes to another team, like the locker room and the fan base won't be clamoring for Jimmy, the way they will here. If Trey starts and the team starts 0-2, or there's just they stumble out of the gate, there's going to be a lot of momentum push for Jimmy Garoppolo to play. I don't think it would be like that anywhere else. For a guy who is a decidedly mediocre quarterback, there's a mystique about him here. And until they win without him, there will always be that mystique here. So maybe he feels like, you know what? Let's see what you got, Trey. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's a good. I think it's the best move of the moves that were on the table for Garoppolo. I think it was his best move at this point.
So. Guys, we're going to answer some of your questions. We're going to look at this from a bunch of different perspectives. So hold on. Some of your questions may lead us down that path. Callie Tremor says, and the NFL Daytime Drama Award goes to the San Francisco 49ers for the most tomfoolery and shenanigans during the NFL offseason. What a mess. Yeah, I think that's probably the first thing on a lot of Niner fans' mind. The reason most people thought this wouldn't happen is because it's messy. It's a distraction. It's a freaking circus, frankly.
It's great. I think it's great.
Why?
Because your best player on this team is Trent Williams, and he's 34 years old. And now you can look him in the eye. You can say, Trent, with all of our resources and all of our financial might and everything that we've got, we're trying to get it done this year. Who won the Super Bowl last year? The Rams. What defined the Rams? They were all freaking in on the Super Bowl from day one. Everybody knew the score. And I think that's how you win Super Bowls. You have to sprint towards it. You have to be passionate about it. You have to be all freaking in. And to me, this is the move that sends a message to Trent and everybody else, including all the 49er fans. The Niners are all in on this year. Media circus, be damned. Trey's feelings, be damned. Inviting the circus to town, all of that is all secondary. It's all about being all in on the ring, and I think it's smart.
And that's why I bet my dad that this was going to happen. Cutting Jimmy doesn't hurt this team, doesn't help this team. It helps next year's team. Theoretically, you could roll over cap space, but they're in a Super Bowl window now. And I guess holding on to Jimmy Garoppolo says, look, we're not going to take a step back. We think Trey's going to make us better this year, but if he doesn't, we're open to being wrong and to being able to change direction. So good for them, I guess. Flav says, all my efforts finally got Niners' attention. No way they could rely on Trey alone this year. We're contenders again. He's so happy. Well, congratulations, Flav. Christopher says, what's the over-under in week 1 on Kyle calling QB power for Lance? I think it's 14.5 is a good number. Do you think they're going to go the 2 QB system that they were talking about last year?
No, I don't.